Welcome to Roanoke County Today. I'm Amy Whitaker, Public Information Officer. This month will feature some of the highlights from 2014. We look forward to bringing you news stories and happenings from inside Roanoke County in the coming year. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to the show. Roanoke County has implemented a stormwater management program, and there are state and federal regulations involved. And so today with us we have Cindy Lincoln-Hoker, who is the stormwater manager for the program. Cindy, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Well, we have a lot to talk about with stormwater. I know we're facing some new and existing regulations. Tell us about those.
I will do that. Let me just start at the very beginning because it's a pretty complicated topic.
Sure.
We have what's called a municipal separate storm sewer system permit. 4 S's, so we reduce that to MS4.
Good.
So MS4 permit. Okay. The permit requires the locality, in this case Roanoke, to operate some existing programs and also to operate some new ones that are coming up this summer. So I'll start first with existing. Existing is the floodplain management program, and that program requires the county to regulate development in the floodplain, and it also gives the residents some access to a very valuable flood insurance. That's been in place for many years. Also the erosion and sediment control program. That's a program that the county operates, puts requirements on developers and contractors during the construction phase of a building project. There's an illicit discharge elimination system program, big fancy word for don't put anything into the storm drain.
Right.
Nothing. It's illegal unless it's rain.
Sure.
Then we have a new program coming in July. Becomes effective July 1st of this summer, 2014, and it's called the Virginia Stormwater Management Program. That program is going to require the county to issue what's called a construction general permit. And what that does is allow a developer or contractor to discharge stormwater during the construction process. It allows them to let that water go off of their site. It's also going to impose some more strict standards on the contractors in terms of the work that they are doing. So again, that program is going to go into effect this summer. Developers are aware of this program. They're going to have to do some different things in their designs to try to comply with this new program. And last but not least, we have something called the total maximum daily loads. We reduce that to TMDLs.
Good.
Yes, a lot of acronyms here.
Yes.
TMDLs is basically a pollution diet for various pollutants. The EPA, through the DEQ, Virginia Department of Environmental Quality, has put us on a diet. And the diet is for sediment and PCBs and for bacteria. And so that's going to sort of change the way we do business in the county. Probably going to result in some new ordinances.
Okay, so a pollution diet.
Yes,
There's
a pollution diet. That's
today.
it. That's
okay.
it.
Now I know there's some high priority water issues. What are some of those?
Well, to align ourselves with the TMDLs that we're required to meet, so there's a numeric limit there that we can't exceed a certain number for these pollutants, nitrogen, bacteria, sediment, and PCBs. We've selected sediment and bacteria to focus on because they do align with the TMDLs that we're already required to work on. And then we've added to that nutrients, which primarily phosphorus and nitrogen, because everybody puts that stuff on their lawn through their fertilizers.
Right. It's that time of year for it.
That's right. So then we get the algae blooms in the river, and then the fish die, and everybody's unhappy.
Right. So what are some of the changes for businesses?
Businesses are going to have to change some of their practices. I would say particularly those who may be involved in washing vehicles or washing equipment, they're going to have to be thinking about the fact that the TMDL pollutants, sediments, and bacteria can no longer go down the storm drain. So what does that mean? It means they're going to have to think about how they rinse out a dumpster or a car wash facility, say, that still wash, maybe car detailing facilities or car dealers who wash their cars are going to have to think about where that runoff is going, because no longer can it go to the storm drainage system. It's going to be a little painful.
Sure.
Also, they're going to be required to do some employee training, particularly on spill prevention and response, so that if they have, say, an oil spill on their property or a fuel spill, they're going to have to make sure that they have procedures in place so that doesn't make it to the storm drain system. They're going to have to do some training on the proper disposal of the waste that they may generate at their property, and also some best management practices, such as filtering discharge if they're engaged in any construction activity or maintenance activities on their site that might be pushing things into the storm drainage inlets.
Wow, there's a lot for businesses
There's
to
a
learn
lot.
about.
There
And how
is.
about homeowners? What do we need to know?
Well, same for homeowners. The activities that homeowners engage in and around their home, particularly on their lawn, certainly do impact stormwater. We mentioned earlier the fertilizer problem.
Right.
So it's mostly going to be an education program designed to help them understand that there are some very simple things they can do at their house that will make a difference. One of which, say, is to wash your car in the grass. Sounds ridiculous, but the grass serves as a nice a filter, and it will actually cause there to be no runoff whatsoever. So it doesn't ever make it to the storm drain system.
Sure, you're watering your grass in the process.
Exactly.
That's a good thing to do.
Exactly.
Good.
So if you have, let's say you have a pool, and you've got to discharge your pool water from time to time. You want to let your pool dissipate the chemicals down as much as possible and ensure that your discharge hose is discharging over your lawn. Again, let your lawn serve as the filter. Don't pour anything into the storm drain. Don't cut your leaves and your grass, and just get your leaf blower and right to the storm drain inlet. That's illegal. And so the county's going to be required to enforce that starting July 1. So we don't want anything in the storm drain. So there's some pretty simple things that homeowners can do to make a difference.
Sure. And you talked about the storm drain. We were talking about that earlier. Not everybody knows what a storm drain is.
Right.
What is it?
Let me see if I can explain it. Okay. Your children are playing ball in the street, and they throw the tennis ball, and somebody misses, and the ball goes running along the curb, and it goes down that hole that's on the side of the face of the curb.
Right.
That's the drop inlet. It's truly a structure, most of which is under the ground, and at the bottom of that structure is a pipe, and the pipe connects to some other pipes that eventually discharge directly to the river. So the whole reason this program is here is because stormwater is not treated at a treatment plant. It goes directly to the Roanoke River.
Okay, great.
Yep.
There's a lot of information about stormwater, and I know you're going to be joining us again at a later time so we can continue to learn more. Where can people find more information now?
Well, of course, they can go to the county's website, the Roanoke County VA.gov, go to departments, select community development, and we have a link for stormwater. If you want to talk to a person, call me. I am the new stormwater program manager. I would be happy to discuss stormwater with anybody who wants to chat. And most of the staff in our department, would love to talk to citizens as well. So they can certainly call in.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Let me point out too that we're in the process of vetting our public education program, and it is going to be posted on our website next week. I would love for people to go there, take a look at what we're going to focus on, and give some feedback if they would be so kind as to help us out.
Good. That would be a big help. So we want to make sure our viewers visit our website. Again, it's
Roanoke County VA.gov. Go to the department tab, select community development, and then there's going to be a tab there for stormwater.
Okay, good. So please go online and fill out that survey. That will help the county know what more needs to be done with stormwater.
Right.
And thank you, Cindy, for joining us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
An unfortunate consequence to the recent cold snap that we've been having, and really just the winter months of December, January, and February, is the potential rise in house fires due to home heating. So today we're going to give you the top 10 home heating safety tips, and hopefully we can put a freeze on winter fires. Number 10, make sure that your furnace has been inspected and serviced sometime in the last 12 months. All furnaces need to be serviced at least once during the year. Number 9 would be to make sure that your chimney has been inspected and cleaned sometime in the past 12 months as well. Those need to be done by a qualified chimney sweep who can see inside your chimney and make sure that all the creosote has been cleaned out of the chimney so that everything is safe. The number 8 heating safety tip is to always make sure that you use the right fuel. For a wood-burning fireplace or wood stove, you should use dry, seasoned wood that's going to be burned hot enough to burn out that creosote in the chimney. Also, if you're using something like a kerosene heater, you got to make sure you're using the right fuel and make sure that it truly is kerosene. In the past, in the state of Virginia and in other places, we have seen folks who put the wrong fuel, whether it's gasoline or other things, in their kerosene heater, and that can be extremely dangerous and deadly. Number 7 for heating safety tips is to make sure that you have a fireplace screen that's made of metal that's going to contain any hot embers or ashes that might try to come out of the fireplace. It either needs to be metaled or it needs to be a tempered glass front. And as always, we want to keep kids away from that screen and that tempered glass because it's going to be very hot. But you do need a screen or a tempered glass front to the front of your fireplace. Number 6 in our heating safety tips is when you're cleaning out the ashes from your fireplace, you want to put them in a metal container. And we need to make sure that they are absolutely cool before we dispose of them in the backyard or in your trash can. We've seen this one right here in Roanoke County many times where people clean out the fireplace and they put the ashes in a cardboard box or a paper bag and then they leave them out on the back deck. That's bad news because there's probably some hot embers left in those ashes, and that can certainly cause a fire. So always put your ashes from your fireplace in a metal container and make sure that they have cooled completely before disposing of them anywhere else. Number 5 on the list of heating safety tips is to always keep a 3-foot safe zone around space heaters, electric space heaters, or whether it be a kerosene heater or even that fireplace that we talked about earlier, with anything that can burn. So carpet, newspapers, drapes, bedspreads, kids especially need to be kept 3 feet away from anything that gets hot and that can burn. Number 4 on our list of safety tips for home heating is also, if you're using space heaters, that it needs to have an automatic shutoff feature so that if the space heater gets knocked over or tipped over, it's going to automatically shut off. Number 3 on the list of heating safety tips is if you're using that space heater that we've now talked about several times, we always want to make sure that it's plugged directly into an outlet. These space heaters tend to pull a lot of energy, and so we never want to plug this into an extension cord because these will fail. So this always needs to go directly into an outlet, never into a power strip or an extension cord or anything like that that might fail. Number 2 on our heating safety tip list is to always make sure that you have working smoke alarms in your home. That reduces your risk of having a fire or someone getting hurt in a fire in your home by about half. We want to test these once a month by pressing the button and making sure that they work. That is extremely important. Our final home heating safety tip is to also remember to test your carbon monoxide alarms. If you don't have one, get a carbon monoxide alarm. Carbon monoxide is the silent killer. It's very deadly. It's produced by anything that burns. So if you have heating oil in your home, if you use a kerosene heater, if you use a wood stove or a fireplace, a kerosene heater, propane, any of those things produce carbon monoxide, and so you do need to have a carbon monoxide alarm in your house, and we're going to test it the same way we would a smoke alarm and make sure those batteries are working so that it alerts us if carbon monoxide is present and we can get everyone out safely. For more information on how you can help put a freeze on winter fires, you can call 540-777-8718, or you can go to the internet at www.roanokecountyva.gov/fire rescue.
Welcome back to the show. Today with me I have Billy Driver, who's the Director of Real Estate valuation. And Billy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Amy. Pleasure to be here today.
Sure. We have some changes that are going to be occurring soon for the assessments, so we want to update our viewers on. And I know that the General Assembly has recently made some changes that will affect those assessments. So tell me what those changes are.
Yeah, it started back in the 2014 General Assembly session that the General Assembly amended or actually adopted House Bill 525, which amended the code of 58.1-3330 Code of Virginia and how we, or the information that we send out in our real estate notices. So two things that our citizens will see that will be different is the first is that previously we've just had the current and a prior year, but on this new notice we will have 2 prior years of assessment information that will be there. And the second thing is we will also this time be required through the new legislation to have the tax rate, the tax levy, and the percentage of change on the notices themselves. So there's a lot more information that will be forthcoming on the individual assessment notice.
Okay. And talk about the tax rate, the current tax rate, and when that will be set.
The tax rate is usually adopted by the Board of Supervisors in March or April of 2015. Because of the new legislation and the way that, or the timing that we send out our notices, which is in January, it comes before the Board of Supervisors have time to adopt the tax rate. But the new legislation requires that our citizens will see in the 2015 proposed assessment, they'll see a tax rate there. That will not be set until March. Excuse me again, it will not be set until April or March. And that on our new redesigned notice, it will have a bold lettering that Board of Supervisors will advertise in the Roanoke Times as to the date and times that the public may appear to talk about the tax rate. Now that will also be the same within the town of Vinton, except for the town of Vinton, they advertise their dates to appear to talk about the tax rate and the budget in the Vinton Messenger. So that's where the town of Vinton property owners will see that information.
Okay, so clearly in January is when people will receive their notices.
Yeah,
right.
and yes, and every year we have we send them out around the 1st of January, and in previous years we've had like a pressure sealed tear off notice. This year it'll be a little bit different. It'll come in an envelope. It'll have a letter with the real estate information, and most of the information that used to be in the old will be on this one, dates and times that you can appear before the our informal appeals. It'll have information about who to contact for tax relief for the elderly and disabled homeowners, and information on our Board of Equalization.
Okay. And also you're going to be putting some information on the website, is that correct?
Yes, we will, Amy.
Okay.
And so for those who would like to see a little bit more information on the new notice, they can go to www.roanokecountyva.gov and click on real estate. And then over on the left-hand side, we have online documents and information, and we'll have an explanation of and show everyone, what the new form will look like. And that even if they don't really understand that, they can call our office at 772-2035 extension 0, and we'll be glad to explain any of the information that they don't understand.
Okay, wonderful. This is really important information. Keep our citizens informed on how some of these changes will take effect, but it's good that you have that information on the website so people can refer to it there.
Well, thanks, and appreciate you giving me the time to explain a little bit about the changes.
Sure. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Joining me today is Ben Jones with the Department of Social Services. Ben, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Melanie Couch, who is a foster family, a foster mom, I guess we should say. And I'm really excited to be here with them today because there is an important program within the Department of Social Services we want to talk about today. So Ben, start us off by telling us what the STARS program is.
Sure. The Roanoke Valley STARS is specialized treatment and resource support. It is designed to provide experienced foster families for children who otherwise might be eligible for residential or more intensive treatment. But our families offer these children and their biological families the opportunity to succeed in a family home environment while the children are in foster care.
Okay, so this is a big program. Tell me, what are the qualifications to become a foster parent?
The STARS program recruits exclusively experienced, seasoned foster families, families that have succeeded in other areas and have proven that they can handle an additional challenge. We prefer families who have had multiple years of successful experience, but we look at each family as a case by case. We do prefer families that have worked well with birth families, as well as children with other disabilities or emotional or mental challenges. We look at the high need children and the families that have met those needs effectively to recruit them into our program and provide additional supports, as well as receive significant additional supports to the foster family.
Okay, great. And is there a partnership with Roanoke City with this program? How does that work?
It is a unique entity in our area. Roanoke City and Roanoke County DSSs are partnering together to provide this program to the localities of Roanoke County, Salem, and Roanoke City at this time.
Okay, good. So it's always better to have a collaborative effort. You can join together and pool more resources that way, right?
I think more heads are better than one.
Great. And how does the STARS program differ from other agencies or other programs out there?
Well, we're excited about what makes us different. We provide advanced support through professionals who can enter the home, can be part of the treatment plan, provide support in the community to the foster families as well as the foster and biological families. The real kicker, the real interesting thing about our program is we provide an advanced level therapist to our foster families to meet their emotional needs so that they can provide for the emotional needs of the children and biological families they work with. We find that when a foster family feels that a correct amount of support and training, they can provide really high-level interventions for the family and the children they're caring for so that the child doesn't have to stay in foster care very long and the birth family actually has a mentor and a partner to work with through this journey.
Wow, that's really a meaningful program.
We are proud of
for
it.
families. And what are the needs of the program? Are there any specific needs that you're looking for right now?
Very much. We absolutely need more experienced foster families to join our program so that we can grow and provide services to more children. We're interested in families who have fostered successfully before and want to get back in the game. We're interested in families who are maybe on pause with a private agency and want to look at other options to provide care. And we're looking for families of all types to become new foster families for Roanoke City and Roanoke County so that they can see what the journey is like and maybe become a STARS family in the future.
Good. And speaking of that, we have an example of a foster parent here, Melanie. Tell us what your experience has been like.
Chaos, lots of energy and fun. Challenges, but very rewarding. To be a foster parent is very different than anything else kind of in our community. You take in children who are hurt, they're broken, they've been pulled away from their families, and you try to redeem them, and you try to build them back up and build up their entire family if you can. The goal is to reunite them with their parents if at all possible. The children that come into the STARS program require a little extra grace. They're typically kids who have either been not successful in a regular foster home, have some medical needs or some behavioral needs that would usually put them into like a residential facility. They don't then have that family piece. They're not able to connect in their community and grow and learn that way. So part of STARS and what we've done is kind of be able to keep these kids in their community, in their schools, with their same therapists and doctors, that kind of thing. So we've really enjoyed it. We've loved the support that we've gotten from especially the therapists that we get through STARS and the hands-on approach that we get through the people that kind of interact in our family and our kids and come into our home and help. So
that's really kind of you to be part of this program and do something so meaningful for these children. It seems to me like it's been a very good experience for you. What made you want to become a foster parent? Anything in particular?
Just a desire to dive in, roll my sleeves up, and get involved. I guess
Sure.
my husband and I kind of talked about it for a while and decided that it's the direction we want to go. We did not start out thinking that we were going to take children with special needs. We started out thinking we would just take a small child and you know, love them and help them grow, and then it changed, and we love it. We very much enjoy it.
It seems like that's the most important aspect of it, is the desire to want to help somebody who needs some help.
Yes.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing that experience. Is there some more information if people want to learn more about the program, or perhaps talk with a foster parent to see what the program's like? Where should they call?
Certainly. The first step, you can call me, Ben Jones, at Roanoke
Okay.
County DSS. My number is 283-8844. I can connect you to resources for both Roanoke City and Roanoke County. And if you're interested, we can provide an orientation that we provide several times a year. And Melanie or one of her other equally impressive counterparts will be at the orientation to answer questions.
Okay, good. Thank you both so much for being here and sharing your experience with us and more about the program.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and we'll be right back.
Today I'm here with Sue Slough, who's the Assistant Director of Communications for Roanoke County, and she's also a supervisor over the Roanoke County's 911 Center. About 2 years ago, Roanoke County launched the RoCo Alert Citizen Alerting System. And Sue, tell us a little bit about RoCo Alert and remind us about the system and how it works.
Okay. RoCo Alert is Roanoke County's way of notifying its citizens in the event of an emergency. It sends automatic telephone calls to households to alert them of emergency situations that are activated by our public safety centers.
Well, tell us, what qualifies as an emergency?
Could be a flash flood warning, school incident, evacuation notice. We had a derecho a couple years ago, and that qualified also.
So generally anything that threatens property or lives would qualify?
Yes, it would.
Right. Now, how is the system activated? Who are the agencies that can actually send
It'd be our
out?
public safety agencies, which is the police department, fire and rescue, emergency management, or the sheriff's department.
Great, great. So Sue, can people also receive alerts on their cell phones? You mentioned before people receive them at their households, but can they also receive them on their cell phones?
They sure can, and one of the advantages to registering your cell phone is you can receive text messages and calls, and you're able to put in multiple addresses, Roanoke County addresses, which can include your child's school, an elderly parent, maybe a spouse's workplace, and that way you can receive alerts if there's one in those areas.
Right. Now again, I think most of the alerts are based on maps and address points, so those addresses are very important, aren't they?
Yes, they are. And they allow us to either do a county-wide alert or a localized.
Right, all the way down to the street level if needed, or house level. I guess.
Right, yes.
I also understand one of the advantages of RoCo Alert are different types of alerts, like weather alerts?
Yes, they'll have the option of signing up for the National Weather Alert, which is for the weather, and it goes by the zip code you put in when you create your profile with our system.
And I believe the National Weather Service sends out alerts for tornadoes, derecho, severe storms, flooding, that type of thing
they do.
too. Right. Is there any cost for signing up for RoCo
There
Alert?
isn't. It's a free service offered by Roanoke County. However, your carrier may charge you for your text messages.
Right. Tell us one more time, Sue, about how people can sign up their cell phones for the RoCo Alert system.
Okay. They can go to our website, which is www.roanokecountyva.gov/RoCo Alert. It's quick and easy, takes 2 minutes, and that way they get alerts whenever and wherever they are.
Well, Sue, I appreciate this update, and thanks for coming out this morning. And we hope that everyone signs up for RoCo Alert. So far, we have a couple thousand people signed up for the system, and our hopes are to have as many people as possible sign up for RoCo Alert, and so that people can be safe and understand when things are happening in their communities or in their neighborhoods.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Roanoke Valley Television, RVTV Channel 3 is on Facebook. Go to www.rvtv.org and click on the Facebook icon to like RVTV3 today, your government and educational access station.